Morning, welcome. Lockdown workshop again. Well, we tidied it up last week, didn't we? I've got multiple recordings going on at the moment. I don't know where we are with any of this. So we've got a few issues, but as you can see, the workshop's a tip again. Recording last week, the lights blew, and then the other light blew. It was the ballast I did go through. I think that's something we're covering that one on another video. Putting the lights back together. You can see we've got one up already. But it was just too cold last week, and I didn't video that one going up. But we do have some light in here again now, so that's a little bit of light. The idea is instead of these in the middle here, we're gonna have one there and one there, and then one down there, one there, and these fluorescents are going to go. Bit odd, the ballasts have gone in and both within 15 minutes of each other, but they were bought at the same time. It was really damp in here last week with the cold, but they've been up for a long time, and these are really expensive industrial class ones. They're all waterproofed and everything, so we've replaced them with some LED ones. Had to modify the wiring a bit. This is all rough fit because this is all going to get done out at some point, so the wiring's up there, that just needs finishing off, and I've got the other one to put up there, and then I've got to feed the 5 amp 6 amp feed across here for the lighting, and then run a couple of junction boxes in and put them on over there, and that'll light up. It should be a bit better, the light, because the problem with the light in the middle was it was casting shadows. But anyway, stealing thunder out of the other video. So today's main task is the pump for the jacuzzi. So part no idea what went off there. Camera just suddenly decided to shut itself down. Anyway, right, back to where we were. So one pump for the jacuzzi, one impeller housing. Quick refresh over what happened in part 1 and part 2. So part 1 was we stripped it out of the jacuzzi. Part 2 was we brought in here, took it to pieces, and you can see where the impeller's cut a nice hole on the inside of there, and through there, made a right old mess. And by the power of eBay, so nice new impeller to go on there. Now, if you remember, there was a rubber bushing that went in there, and that stops any water that runs down the shaft from going into the windings and knackering up the bearings in there. So what I've done is I had a look at it, and I thought, well, there's a chance of me finding one of them zero. And it's just a dust cover that, it doesn't actually do anything. So I thought, you know what, that could do with a radial shaft seal like they have on cars to keep the oil in the engine and not on the drive. So I took some measurements, and again, by the power of eBay, it's 5mm thick. It is 30mm outer diameter, 15mm inner diameter. The shaft's exactly 15mm at that ridge there. The inside of that is actually 29.55 millimeters, so I might have to just rub down the edge of that to get it in, or I might be able to knock it in and it'll grip. I'm hoping it'll fit, but we'll see. So first job is get the pump back together, and then we'll get it back in the jacuzzi, and then I can get the jacuzzi up and running for tonight. So let's crack on. Stop recording. Back in the room. Right, so just got to drop this on here. Just needs snugging over. We'll see if it fits first. I'm a bit dubious looking at this because I think I might have to shave a bit off it, but we'll see if we can get it to knock in. That does actually look like it's going in. Well, I never. That does actually look like it's going in. So I'll just get a few more love taps. You know what, that's not bad. Just see if we can get that last bit of the seal on. Sorry, before you moan, yes, I know I shouldn't be using a claw hammer for this. That's not bad. I'll take that. Right, motor still springs. A little bit more on that edge. Just snigging more. Yeah, I'm glad I went for the narrower one of these. I think I might struggle to get the, yeah, that's seated lovely on that. Spot on. Right then. Just got to put the impeller on it now. Let's move some of this gubbins out of the way. Put the measuring sticks back. Right, so I think the best way to do this is to now it might be possible I can do this without taking the cover off, because all I need to do is be able to hold the impeller still while I wind the engine on, and then when it first runs it should nip it up. But what I do want to do is just put a little bit of anti-seize on the end of the shaft, because these are notoriously difficult to get off if you need to get them off, and I couldn't get it off the other one. So this is just copper slip anti-seize. Sometimes it's called molly slip, but it's just a copper grease effectively. I'll rub a bit on there as well, stop it from rusting up any more than it already is. Didn't see that. Right, so we'll just whiz these off. Whiz. Oh, whiz. You have to be careful with this, because that is actually plastic. I thought it was metal, and I keep banging it down, and it's already got a chunk missing out of it. Exhibit A. I suspect I've just made a whole lot worse. See, that's what happens when you try and undo something with the wrong screwdriver. Wrong screwdriver. Remember when I was talking about Phillips and thingy, this is a Phillips, and I was trying to undo it with a posi right then, which obviously isn't going to work. I've got to try and stick that bit back in. Right, so now we've got the back off, what we're going to do is just wind that in. So it's a normal thread in. Just spotted. I have got to take the end off, because the screws... No, I haven't got to take the end off. Shut up, Mark, come on. Who's the new kid? The screws are on the back, so that's, if you can see that. This is where videoing and actually doing are not compatible. So it's just winding it in. And the impeller's turning. Nearly there. So it's actually pulling it through. Inside here, have I got one? I don't know if I showed you this last week, because I have actually found it. Right, so there's a Sprung water seal in there, and what this does is that stays under tension, that seals it there. Any water that travels through there only goes as far as that rubber seal there and the backing plate, where there's another rubber seal, and those two mating surfaces rub together, and the other side of this is actually a ceramic piece, so the water keeps it cool and it just rubs on there, but that's under tension. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually winding against that spring just to snug it up. So when it gets so far, it'll suddenly bite and it's bit now. So all I need to do without breaking it is just make sure that's tightened up, which it is now. So that's back together. So all I've got to do now is put the bolts on, put the end cap back on. I don't know whether I'll give it a spin in here because it was a bit iffy last week because you couldn't see it on camera, but I had the wires hanging off the back of a plug that was in pieces out of the wall because I didn't want to cut the ends off the rope, the cord rope. How long have you been doing this? Right, where's my box of bits? Let me stick the other bits in so I don't lose them. In fact, now let's put this on first before we go any further because it'll make it easier to stand up on its end. So we're still going to, even when we get it connected up, I've still got that piece I've got to mend on the jacuzzi where I broke one of the fittings. I have got a piece on order to try and, I was going to say bodge it, but yeah, it's bodging it because you can't get that piece anymore, or if ever. Nobody seems to have even, recognised that it ever existed. So it was a T-piece with a 1-inch takeoff, and in the 1-inch takeoff, then there was an 1 to 3/8 inch reducer on an angle, and it's that's broken. So I've actually found a 12mm to barbed straight, and I'm going to cut the broken piece off and then thread it and seal it as I screw it in. So in theory it should actually be slightly better, but the problem is it's just the temperature's so low at the moment. All the pipes are that tight and brittle that if you've got to take any of the pipes to pieces. So this was a rubber flexi hose I was trying to get off, and it won't come off basically. Right. Not having much fun with this. I've got any better length ones. The other one, not any longer. I don't think that's any longer, to be honest. No, that's not. No, we're just going to have to do it by hand. Once I get started, they should go a bit easier. These bottom ones are a nightmare to get in. It has got a washer on that one as well. And of course I haven't got a 7mm ratchet. No, I think I have. I haven't in that one. I haven't looked in the other one. So we'll probably be fast forwarding through this bit, and all you'll hear is me going in the background. But if I am fast forwarding it, it'll be because you just fast forwarded it, me pretending to fast forward. But anyway, and I'll be like a blur with the spanners. Come on. I hate fiddly screws. So I like German engineering, because German engineering actually makes some consideration for people who have to fix it afterwards. So not always. There's some bits of BMWs that don't come off that easy, but in most cases, everything's planned to be taken to pieces. But the exceptions are flipping under trays and Land Rovers. When they were being made by BMW, they were awful. I remember trying to get a brake master cylinder off a freeloader. Oh man, it was awful. Was it free? Yeah, it was a Freelander. That's it, nice and tight. I did wonder whether they should have some Loctite on, but they didn't originally. I guess it's not the end of the world if they come undone. It's the end of the world as we know it. And the extra shaft. Really long shaft. There. So I'd a guess I'd probably say you torque these up to something about less than 5, so we'll just click, click. Right, job's very good one. So that should be absolutely fine now. It seems to be spinning okay. We'll see how that goes. Right, stick it back in the jacuzzi. Stop recording. Magic tools have appeared. I'm just keeping on the battery. Battery's getting low. Oops. Padding's disappeared. That's putting it on. Where that's come from. There's literally one way that goes in. Oh, I'm not even there yet. Come on. That has to wriggle over. And hopefully we haven't knocked the seal out of the way for that. Not sure if you can see that or not. What can you see there? All I need to do is just see if this I think that seal's still in where it should be. Right, it looks like it's in the right place. We'll find out when we fill it full of water because it will pee absolutely. Right, back again, quick battery change. So we just need to nip that up now and then get the other connections on. I think you can probably see there. It's not playing ball at the moment. That went on much. Right, back again. Sorry, card ran out this time. Which worries me because that means I've only got 32 meg left. Gig. Right. In the worst case scenario, I have to switch to the phone if I run out. So, I'll check that. Unless we've just shifted the rubber seal inside. Which I guess we'll find out when it pees water everywhere. Yeah, I'm in two minds whether to do a water test on it before we go any further. Right, just go get that bottom one in, which is behind the main power feed. I think if I get that from the other side. Conscious I'm using up a lot of footage here, just watching me pants around, but you don't really want to see this. You want to see the water pouring out when we get it wrong. I know. Right, stop recording. Right, so before we fill it up, good job I remembered, I've just got to reconnect the overflow. So just quickly nip that up. It's easier to do it through this end panel here. Just check the seal's in place. I think it's a flat seal, yeah. There's an O-ring in there. The pipes again are really hard. It's not playing. You stand there a minute. It's not threaded. Come on. I wonder whether this is actually just cross-threaded anyway then, because that does not seem to want to. Oh, there we go. Right, the challenge, should I choose to accept it, is to finish in 31 minutes, because that's all I've got left on the card. Right, no leaks. Might be tempting fate. The water's up quite high now, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to button all this lot back up, give it a spin, check everything's okay, and then I've got to empty it and clean it. But other than that, it looks like jobs are good. And right, I'm not going to video this next bit because it's just basically screwing that box back on there, putting that cable there back inside there, and it usually involves a lot of swearing, frustration, and takes flipping ages. So I'll bring you back when I've done it. Go and have a cup of tea. Ah, it's cold. My hands are wet and my hands are cold. Oh, that's lovely.
How's your jacuzzi doing?
Alright, really. Right, let's see what explodes. 7 degrees. That's cold. Right, see if anything's leaking. That's the main one, you know, one there. Bunched it, I put a piece in the middle. We've got leaks around here. See, that's the big blue-arsed baboon up there banging away. Let me see if I can get you up to him. There's no escape. He's still banging. He's not going to be happy until he's broken it. So all looks good at the moment. That was the main worry, that one there. I don't think we've got any leaks. Oh no, it's absolutely peeing out. Right, okay, that looks like that seal didn't get in properly. As I suspected, it did kind of chunk down. I'll just kill it off and we'll have to drain some water out. Right, it's flipping freezing outside, so while that's filling up, I thought we'd nip in here and just see if we can fix the this bit, because this was the worst panel out of them both. Both the pins have come off, so I just need to move the feet a bit further across. I'm going to use some of the compound that I use for gluing the pipes together. It's a solvent one. Yeah. Second-hand tissues. What's the mustard doing that, do you? There we go. Problem with this stuff is the dibber's absolutely covered in it, and there's way too much on there for what we want to do here. So what we're after is just a smear. And I'm going to hope that that's not going to be in the way of anything. We ought to go and check actually. Yeah, it'll be right. Just have to pull it off and redo it. Another dib. So let's not sit there. Now I've already put one on. I've put one over there. And it was a bit of a nightmare. The screws are fighting me. So I'm just going to have a little preview at this one. If I can find a small enough drill bit. What have we got? I might do it. It's a broken drill bit, but it'll do. God, it's in a bit of a state. Yeah, that's smaller than that. It just needs to be a pilot anyway. I don't know why I've done that. Come on, Tom, get a grip. Right, so we're just going to move it along a bit and see if we can get it to sit down. The trouble is it's all a bit mashed around here. It's actually a broken drill bit. Ah! Fell off. Right, we'll have to pin that on. That's done the trick anyway. Just line them up. I'll go back and another bite of that one once we've got these in. It's not much, I'll be honest, it's not the greatest ever method for fastening these on. There's not a lot of plastic for them to bite into. It's hollow section. It's probably about 1.5 mil thick plastic. There's nothing behind it, so you're really relying a lot on the glue rather than the screws to hold these together. Might have been better with a metal reinforcement piece across there first and screw these into that. A bit more padding on the bottom. There we go. Right, see how that works. Put all these end caps back on again. They're not the greatest panels ever. I've been looking into replacing them, but unfortunately nobody seems to sell them. So it's a completely new panel set, and the panel sets that you buy now aren't like these prefab panels, because this is just like shiplap stuff with a recess underneath where you can put the lights in for some of them. But the new ones aren't like that. They're just, you just completely fill them in and screw them down, and you can't, you have to have little doors that you remove. So these are actually quite good because you can take the whole side of the jacuzzi off. Anyway, right, let's stick this back on and see how the water's doing.